Here are 24 books that are being released in 2024 that I cannot wait to get my hands on. I have them organized by date, starting with the most recent, and that is February 6th, The Teacher by Freida McFadden. Freida McFadden, she is a very well-known author for her thriller books. If you are a member of Kindle Unlimited, you can read almost all of her books for free. I've probably read maybe 4 or 5 of them so far. I do try to keep up on the new releases, and this one sounds really good to me. Also on February 6th is the release of If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nolan, which is book 2 to the book If He Had Been With Me. It's a very popular book. It's been all over TikTok. Apparently it's a real tearjerker. I have it on my Kindle to read. I have not read it yet, so basically I need to get my butt in gear and read it before the second book comes out on February 6th. I really feel like I'm reading these 2 books because of FOMO. I don't want to miss out, and I know everyone's going to be talking about it when it comes out in February. February 13th, Magnolia Park's Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. I'm only about 1/3 of the way through of the second Magnolia Park series, and on February 13th, the 5th book of the series is coming out. So I don't feel like this is a book that I'm probably on like February 13th going to race out and read. I really liked the first Magnolia Parks book, but as I've shared in my videos before, I'm not one to read a series like back to back, and I just haven't felt myself drawn to wanting to finish the second book for some reason. But I do eventually want to read them all. March 5th, Bye Baby by Caroline Loverling is coming out. She is the author of the book Tell Me Lies, which was turned into a series on Hulu that I just absolutely loved. March 19th, Expiration Dates by Rebecca Surley, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She wrote In 5 Years, which I read several years ago when the book was first released. It was so good. She also wrote One Italian Summer, which I purchased and just have not read because I noticed there were very much mixed reviews on that book. However, again, FOMO, I feel like this is a book that a lot of people are going to be reading, so it's on my list too. April 2nd, The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. Now, I feel like I'm a huge fan of Sarah Adams. She's one of my like kind of must-buy authors at this point. She wrote The Cheat Sheet, which I thought was super cute, and she wrote When in Rome, and I just love them both. They're quick, easy reads. They're total romantic comedies. They're like perfect springtime summer reads. Also on April 2nd, this is one of my most anticipated books, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. She is a must-buy author, hands down. Like, I will be reading that book on April 2nd, no matter what. I have stinking loved every single one of her books so much. They've all been 5-star reads. I'm obsessed. I just love her style of writing. It's the right amount of like romance, but there's some funny parts in there mixed in with a little bit of sassiness. I love her books. Then April 23rd, we have Funny Story by Emily Henry. Now, so far I've read every book of hers except People We Meet on Vacation. I have it. Again, it's one of those books that there was mixed reviews on it, so I just haven't like forced myself to read it yet. I feel like she's one of those authors that no matter what she releases, I'm going to be reading it for sure. However, I feel like I've had mixed reviews on her books. They're kind of hit or miss for me. I either love it or I'm just like, it was good. Like Happy Place, which I know so many people absolutely loved. I was just like, it was just okay for me. But again, I'm gonna read anything that Emily Henry writes. April 30th is Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. She wrote Mrs. Nash's Ashes, which is such a cute kind of little road trip type story. I actually feel like I could compare her to Abby Jimenez. They have that sort of same, I don't know why sassy is the word that comes to mind. I just like their style of writing. They're very strong women characters in their books. Sarah Adler's officially on my must-read everything she writes list as well. Oh gosh, here's another one. May 7th, This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. Okay, when she released Every Summer After, oh my gosh, 6-star book, if we were allowed to give 6 stars. Absolutely loved it. Then Meet Me at the Lake came out last year. read it right away, probably the day it came out, and I was disappointed. So my fingers are crossed. I'm pulling for Carly. Hopefully she's just not going to be one of those authors that just happened to write a really good debut book. I'm really pulling for her. I hope this next one is good as Every Summer After. Also on May 7th, this is going to be one that you might not know about. Hannah Brown from The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Dancing with the Stars, is releasing her first fiction book called Mistakes We Never Made. I read her nonfiction book and it was so good. It was written so well. I'm so excited about her releasing a fiction book. She said it's got some of her own life experiences mixed in there. So I just know when I'm reading it, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, did that really happen? Like, I am really, really excited to read this one. May 14th, The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. If you're a reader, you probably know Christina Lauren are two female authors that co-write together. Their books are always so much fun, a little bit of spice, a lot of romance, a lot of comedy. I feel like Christina Lauren is like the epitome of a rom-com. May 21st, One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. Now, I'm kind of a new fan of her books, and I can tell you what I do with a lot of mystery thriller books, to be completely honest, is I don't jump on them the minute they come out. I kind of wait to see some of the people that I follow on social media or on Goodreads, let them read it first and kind of get a feel for what do they think about it. Because there's been some books by Ruth Ware that people rate really, really high, and I jump at reading them, and then there's others that I'm just like, they didn't love it. The average rating is 3.6 stars, and I kind of pass on it. So I'm excited to see how this one does. May 28th, If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finley. He's a male author. I don't read a lot of male authors. Not opposed to it. I think it's just because I read a lot of like romantic comedies. It just happens to be written by women. I'm a new fan of his because I read Hidden Pictures, and I just loved Hidden Pictures. It was one of my favorite thriller books that year, and I actually had purchased his book that he wrote in 2023. It's on my bookshelf. I haven't read it yet, but he's definitely an author that I like to keep up with his new releases. June 4th, Daydream by Hannah Grace comes out. This is the third book in the series. The first one is Icebreaker, followed by Wildfire, and they're 4-star reads for me. They're not like the best romance books out there, but I'm committed to the series at this point. I'm gonna read book 3 when it comes out. Another one of the same thing. June 4th, Summer Romance comes out by Annabelle Monaghan. Nora Goes Off Script was her debut novel. Loved it, gave it 5 stars. Then, same time next summer came out, and I was just like, only gave it 3 stars. So again, I'm pulling for Annabelle. I hope she has another 5-star release. I hope it gets the attention it deserves. June 11th, it's called Rom-Comers by Catherine Center. I've read quite a few of Catherine's books. I think she's an amazing author. I think her writing style is a little unique. It stands out to me compared to some of the other authors that I have mentioned today. Every book of hers that I have read so far, I absolutely loved. Last year's release, Hello Stranger, was such a unique concept. I can't wait to see what this book's gonna bring. And the name Rom-Comers, perfection. June 11th is another book by Frida McFadden, Housemaid is Watching. And this is book 3 in the Housemaid series. And I loved the first 2 books in the series. I don't know if this is a trilogy or if there's gonna be more books after this, but definitely on my must-read list this year. Here we go again. Why is this pattern so repetitive? June 11th, A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson, another male author. A Kind Worth Killing. It came out years ago. Couldn't even tell you what year. Oh my gosh. That's one of my all-time favorite thriller books ever, okay? Book 2 came out, Before She Knew Him was the title. And it was just, it ended really well, which makes room for book 3 to come out and hopefully hit a home run. But why does the second book always disappoint? Is it because our expectations are too high? I don't know what it is. June 18th, The Next Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. Oddly enough, the book The Last Mrs. Parrish is book 1. I don't know if it's going to be a series or just a two-parter or what. That book was released a long time ago. I kind of remember what it's about. I know I really liked it, so I definitely want to read the second book in the series. But it's kind of odd to me that an author would release like a second book in a series like so much further down the line. Also on June 18th is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I absolutely love some of his books. He's become a must-read thriller author for me. A couple of his books that I read were just 3 stars. I feel like he's kind of like a 50-50 hit or miss author for me, but I keep up with all his new releases and I'll probably continue to do so. Oh my gosh, this one I am so stinking excited for. June 20th by Tilly Cole, 1,000 Broken Pieces. This is book 2 to 1,000 Boy Kisses. Oh my gosh, I cried buckets in this book. It's so good. I highly recommend it, especially if you're just in that space where you need a really good cry. The book will break your heart in two, but it's so worth it. I cannot wait for June for the second book to come out. Okay, we're almost done. June 25th, Tangled Up in You, again by Christina Lauren. So another release. However, this book is actually book 4 of a series of books that are written by all different authors, and they are basically like renditions of classic Disney princess stories. So Tangled Up in You is obviously their version of Tangled. I haven't read any of the other books in this series and I don't know if I will. Clearly you don't have to read like all of the books to follow along with this series, but I will definitely be reading Tangled Up in You. And then the last one that I have on this list is July 9th. The Summer Pact is coming out by Emily Giffin. This gal has been around forever. She's the one who wrote the books like Something Borrowed, which was made into a movie like 13 years ago that most of us have probably seen. Such a cute movie. I've seen it multiple times. Anyways, I've read a lot of Emily's books. They're all really cute. I feel like she as well has a very distinct writing style that carries over in all of her books. I have definitely not read all of her books. I think I've only read like 4 or 5 of them. However, I'm excited for this new one to come out this summer. Perfect timing. So that is my list, guys. That is a lot of books. This seems like way more than 24 books. That is, for some people, that's like a whole year of reading. But hopefully you enjoyed this list. Hopefully you found some books that you wrote down that you want to read this year. Comment down below if I missed any really good releases, maybe some of your favorite authors that I skipped. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I appreciate anyone who watches my book videos because they're, let's be honest, my favorite videos to make. Make it a great day, guys, and I will see you next time.